the hat's coming off. Down to business. One question I get a decent amount of times is, do you really know your significant other? Like, how do you know, like, this is the one you want to marry? You're long distance. How long have you known her? 5 years? Yes, but how many days have you been together? Roughly like 60 days. Is this really the girl you want to marry? Doesn't it seem a little premature? Like, I mean, how much could you really know a person from far away? Listen, man, I've held her hands before. Now, although I may not be a palm reader, I believe that I know her enough to know that this is the girl that I want to marry. If you're new here, I'm Mike, a US nurse. On this channel, we're pursuing a fuller life. Thank you very much for all the genuine concern and even the skeptic thoughts and or people. I want to say yes. Yes, I know that this is the girl that I want to marry. This is the lady that I want to marry. Yes, I believe that I have enough information to say that this is it. This is the choice that I want to make. Let me tell you how I know enough about my fiance, Leanne, enough to want to marry her. There are many things, but it's mainly these few things. Our relationship goes beyond the small talk. It's been 5 years asking each other, how are yous? And replying with, I'm fine. And telling each other about each of our respective days. And yeah, this is a nice way to get to know each other and a common way to start the conversation. But I know even the small talk Leanne is different than the real talk Leanne. That's right. Real talk. You know, the talk that speaks the truths and the convictions from one's hearts and mind about things that bring joy, but also about the things that take it away. She's the voice that doesn't just agree with me, but she's also the voice that disagrees with me and corrects me with love, whether it's a sharp tone or even a soft tone. It's been 5 years of ups and downs, happy surprises and disappointments, and heart-to-hearts and dramas, mostly Korean dramas. Besides that, I'm not saying that this is it, that all the conversations that Leanne and I have had is the totality of who she is. I'm just saying that this is the woman that I want to marry because this is it. This is the beautiful beginning that will only get more beautiful. And if she wants to change her mind, I think it's still beautiful because I believe that will even point her to a better direction to where she could be, even if it's not with me, and vice versa. It's a give and take of getting to know each other, but also a bit more of discovering more of ourselves and how we are with one another. And I love who she is and who she is with me. Which brings me to the second point, Leanne is the one I want to marry, is because our relationship is beyond just the two of us. Like, who is she when she's not around me? Is she still kind? Is she still wholesome? Does she use foul language? Does she swear like a sailor? Does she have a different accent? Like you want to see her in her natural environment, the majestic feline that she is. You may not always trust social media, but you can get a better picture of her in different social environments. I have observed how she is with herself, with her family, with her friends, and even with me. My nursing education taught me to look at people with a more holistic approach, not to limit someone to one facet. Who's Leanne the daughter, the best friend? The professional, the girlfriend, the child of God. She's generally the same person, but each side of her is highlighted in different roles and contributions. She's still just as hard and smart working, thoughtful, and the one for whom my soul loves. Okay, we'll cut the accent. After everything I've experienced with Leanne, seeing her walk the walk, talk the talk, I believe our lives complement one another. Not just for surviving, but for thriving. They say opposites attract, but I'm not looking for an exact opposite. But I consider how well my future wife would complement me and how well I would complement her. When we marry, it's not just Mike, it's not just Leanne, it's Mike and Leanne. Not just the individuals, but the familial unit, living and thriving together. She can be mine and I can be hers, but just because we have a piece of paper, a home, and even a life that says we're officially together in holy matrimony, doesn't mean life will be happy, especially for most of the time. Leanne makes me happy, but she is not my happiness. It's not her job to make me happy. It's not up to me to put pressure on her to make me happy. That's not what this is about. So instead of putting pressure on her to make me the happiest man alive, I personally stuck my roots in a loving God and left all the work to him. Leanne has done the same, and between the two of us, I believe we can support one another in personal passions, personal growth, and a fuller life. Do I know 100% of who my fiance is? No, that's okay. Neither her or I can make the promise that we won't change. I can't make the promise that I'll still love you the same way that I've always been. And I hope that I don't, because in actuality, I wish and I hope that I would love her better than I did yesterday. That's a good positive change, and that's an opportunity to take. That's an opportunity to give. You want that personal growth. That's fine. If there's anything that's not gonna change, or at least if it's gonna change in a positive resolve, it's her core values. And I believe her core values that we both share, well, I believe it's well set. It's just gonna be those values stronger and even going to develop her as a more beautiful individual. And this individual is going to love me, not because I say so or anybody else says so, but because that's who she is, but because of who I am to her and who she is to me. If there's anything that I won't ever really know about her, it's most likely the matter that she loves me more than I could ever know. And the amount that I do know is just enough for me. And there's still a whole lot more room for both of us to grow. But if you yourself in a long distance relationship and you're doubting yourself, like, how will I know like this is the person I'm going to marry? Or this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with? Well, just look at these few things. And over time, like, you build a profile, Facebook profile, social media profile. Like, a picture says 1,000 words. And if you take a picture with this person that you spend so much time with, you're not just gonna have all these memories, but you're gonna have a good, decent picture of what is and what could be, what has been, and what's the transformation that has been happening until now. The person who I admire in 2016 when we first started, she's not the same person. And that's good. She's an even better person. Trying to validate your relationship in front of all your peers, yeah, that's quite a chore. But if anything, I just take it as a reminder to, like, say, hey, guard your heart, guard your mind. Like, don't get trapped into this honeymoon phase. Don't focus too much on the shallow things. Be real with yourself and be real with each other. Because although love is fun, it's not a game to be playing with hearts. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Mike B. Salazar, and I'll catch you in the next one. This is going to be the video about... What am I making this video about?